streaming. It's connected up. Welcome, everybody. April 7th, 2019. No Walking Dead tonight. That sucks. But we're going to talk about some Game of Thrones, some Walking Dead. So let's wait for everybody to join here for our live stream today, April 7th, 2019. Thank you for joining me. If you're watching it on the replay, obviously. Spoiler warning for The Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, all that stuff. So I know today will probably be less people because The Walking Dead is not in season, and The Walking Dead is one of those things because when out The Walking Dead on this Sunday, it's one of those where you're like, man, what am I going to watch? What am I going to do? And Game of Thrones doesn't start till next Sunday, so it's interesting to think of what's going on for the rest of the year. Well, a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff to talk about. Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead. Walking Dead season filming is going to be, a big part of the summer. The Walking Dead will be a thing that we'll talk about all year. Fear the Walking Dead starts in 2 months. 2 months. Yeah, 2 months. So, what's up, Boyd? We got June 2nd for Fear the Walking Dead. And that's pretty cool because we're going to have Fear the Walking Dead Season 5. That's interesting because I can't believe we have 5 seasons of Fear the Walking Dead. Not sure if you watched that, so we'll talk about a little Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, Game of Thrones for everybody. Joining me today, Sunday, April 7th, 2019. And it sucks because The Walking Dead is not on television tonight. It's the first Sunday of no Walking Dead. What are we going to do? What are you going to watch? So I'm interested to know what you guys think of what's going to happen, this summer for you guys. You watch any other shows? You recommend any other shows? I recommend Game of Thrones, obviously, because it's a big show for the final season of Game of Thrones on HBO. And there's the fun fact going around that you maybe be heard of it, that Walking Dead, or The Walking Dead, Robert Kirkman and whoever's representation went to HBO, and HBO turned it down. They definitely turned this series down. They did not want to have The Walking Dead on its channel. Imagine if HBO had The Walking Dead and Game of Thrones. That would be a killer right there. That would be like the major network to have, the major subscription to have. It would be amazing. There would be a lot of things on there too. Game of Thrones, Van Dijk's Games. What do I expect for Game of Thrones Season 8? I expect an epic, awesome 6-episode season. It should be amazing. It should be awesome. It should be one of those things that is, wraps everything up. I would say in a pretty package, but not in a pretty package because if you think this ends well, you haven't been listening or you haven't been watching. And that's for sure because Game of Thrones, I don't think ends like, yeah, everything happens and it's great. And, Daenerys or Jon or, whatever his Targaryen name is like, okay, he ends up on the Iron Throne. And you're like, all right, let's wrap it up here, So it's just interesting. So we'll see what happens starting next Sunday. I'll be talking about Game of Thrones probably for the next 6 weeks because it's pretty awesome for television. It's a good show. I love Game of Thrones and I recommend it. It's a lot to take in if you haven't already watched it. But Boyd Q&A, is it true that Troy returning to Fear the Walking Dead news was false? We don't know. That's a good question because the word is that Troy was coming back, Daniel Salazar was coming back, and we don't know. Because we saw Daniel Salazar in the trailer, which is awesome. He's one of my favorite characters on the show. Troy, I don't know. Maybe he's there with Daniel Salazar because the last time we saw Daniel, he was with Strand, got shot in the face, made it back to the dam, and then the dam blew up and we haven't seen him, right? So we don't know what happens there. Maybe he got Troy and they went and, I want to know what happened to Crazy Dog and, Takata Walker, whatever his name is, Kaltaka Walker. The Indian chief, the Native American chief, that I was like, man, I want to know what happened to him, right? So I don't know. The early word is that it was happening, and then Troy, that it was false, that it was just a rumor, that it's not. So I don't know. But Evan Water, Fear is not on tonight. It comes back June 2nd. So we got to wait 2 months. So we got May and June. And it's kind of good because if you watch Game of Thrones, there's nothing on tonight. Then Game of Thrones starts next week. And it's for the 6 weeks. And then the week after that is nothing but a documentary of Game of Thrones, which I'll probably watch on HBO. It's Memorial Day weekend. And then the Sunday after that is Fear the Walking Dead. So Fear the Walking Dead will be June 2nd for all the people that watch that. So I don't know. That's a good question. Wingate 14. Am I excited for Watchmen? I'll definitely check it out. I talked to some people that were kind of behind the scenes a little bit in Atlanta about Watchmen, and it sounds pretty cool. I have to watch the movie again. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I'm definitely check it out. I think it's pretty cool that they're doing it because I think it can be a good show. The movie, I remember it being entertaining. I remember it being like, what am I kind of watching here? It was kind of interesting, kind of this, kind of that, this, because I wasn't familiar with the comic that much to the show, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan was in it too, so it was kind of cool, but, you know, I thought it was pretty great. So, Kang Era Daryl, Q&A, thoughts on Maggie's return? Her show is set to cancel in May. So, I'm definitely going to cover that. Maggie is supposedly coming back. The word was that she was coming back the entire time. But what kind of role, how big a role, how big of a story are we going to have for Maggie in season 10? With the probable, possible, rumored cancellation of Whiskey Cavalier, she can probably be there a little bit longer now. Is it going to be 5 episodes, 16 episodes, 10 episodes? We just don't know. But I would think that she can have a bigger role for it. Maybe they kind of wrote her in a little bit to have a possibility of only a couple episodes, and now they can expand on that. I like Maggie. I like Lauren Cohan. So for her to run Hilltop, that would be great. But I wonder how long she's actually been away, because at first glance, you're like, she's been gone for 6 years. But has she been? Because she left, little time jump here with, you know, Jesus and Tara talking with Ezekiel, Jerry, and Carol at the time. Was it a couple years? Was it this? Has Maggie been gone like a year? A couple months? We just don't know because we haven't seen her. There hasn't been an indefinite timeline, but I think it's been some time. It's been significant enough that she's been gone too. So, Hectorito, did you know Ruben Blades Salazar, Daniel Salazar, is a Hall of Fame legend in the Spanish music world? I did not know he was a Hall of Fame legend, but I knew that he was definitely popular there. Was it Panama, I believe? I know he's got a lot going on in his life too. I think he was he a government official or something with Panama or something? I remember something with the country of Panama and, you know, Ruben, but I don't know what exactly it was, but that's awesome. And I like the character a lot, and I wish that he could be expanded on there too. He like comes and goes and this and that, and then we don't see him for a season, and then we bring him for a season, and it's like, what? So let's talk about season 9 a little bit, guys. Let's talk about the season 9 finale. I had the live stream last Sunday for the season 9 finale before we saw it, and to be honest, I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was a great finale. It was a good episode. But was it a good finale? I think it was on the weaker side. The snow was cool. The continuity of the walkers in the snow was kind of weak. It was kind of weak that they had frozen ones, and then they had ones that were walking, and then they were crawling, and then they were doing this. And I guess they wouldn't all be frozen, depending on where the storm was and how it passed and stuff. But I like the frozen walkers that were standing there. And then the Scarecrow Walker was pretty cool when Daryl hit it with a crossbow. The Snow Walkers were awesome. I don't think we're ever going to get snow again. Season 10 is going to start with a little bit of a time jump. Winter is gone. Winter is over. The snow will be melted. We saw snow, one and done. It was one episode, and that's all we got. And we should be thankful for that, I guess, right? And you know, it was kind of weird. Oh, crap, I forgot the charges. Hold on, be right back. Sorry about that. I knew that I forgot something. I was running late. I was working in the yard, and I forgot about that. So sorry, sorry about that. Had to charge, plug it in. So it's just ridiculous. But Mark Q&A, Bri, what could be out there to take Maggie away from her people? Well, she was with Georgie and the twins and whatever, you know, she was, and maybe she got stuck in the snowstorm and couldn't make it back. I just hope they elaborate on it too. I hope they elaborate on the community aspect too, where she was. Was she in Texas? Was she in Ohio? Was she in Pittsburgh? Was she in DC? Where was she? How long she's been away too? You know, there's kind of all these questions, and hopefully I get it answered. And I feel like Angela Kang will answer it, but we'll see. So I'll see what happens. But Kang Aradaro Q&A, are you buying TWD Comics on paper or digitally, and are you going to watch the Invincible TV show since Glenn will voice the protagonist? That's a great question. I get my comics digitally because I don't really have the room and the space for comics. I got so much crap, guys, that I'm trying to get rid of it. I'm trying to get rid of Walking Dead stuff. I'm trying to make, awesome boxes of Walking Dead mystery boxes and stuff. And I'm trying to put all this stuff. I got so much stuff. I got it from conventions and here and that. So I'm trying to put it all together. And the last thing I need actually is more products like that. So I get my comics digitally, and I see that too. I saw issue 190. I thought it was pretty good. Building up something big for 191. My question to you is, what happens in issue 200? It's a big epic issue, right? 100 issues, 200 issues. I don't know. We're going to get 300 issues of The Walking Dead. We're approaching 200. I mean, we'll get it done by the end of the year, and that should be great. It should be awesome that 200 issues of a comic that wasn't supposed to exist. It wasn't supposed to have anything like that. Robert Kirkman was trying other stuff, and it came across where like that. It's pretty cool. If you want to find out more about what Robert Kirkman said about starting a comic, his trials and tribulations and where he was at, definitely check out our panel video from Walker Stalker Cruise last year. Not this year, the cruise last year. Robert Kirkman was on there, and it was pretty awesome. So thank you, JD Channel. You're the king of Walking Dead news. I appreciate it. Thank you. Deuce Education Q&A. Brian, my man, I got this feeling that Connie is building up to die and be an impactful loss to the team family. So I don't know. I thought that one of the groups of members of Magna's group would die in the season 9 finale or the Pike lineup or something, and it didn't happen, which I'm kind of surprised. What was the point of not killing one of those characters? You're not going to kill Magna. You're not going to kill Yumiko. I thought Luke would die, but he was already captured, so it didn't make sense. Kelly definitely could have happened with Kelly, but it didn't. And Connie is connected with Daryl and Dog going forward, and people like Connie. And if they kill her off, I think it would be a wasted opportunity for it. I think Connie would not be worth killing, especially at this point right now, too. So, Corey B., if Whiskey Cavalier is canceled, do you see Maggie coming back full-time? Full-time, no. I don't think we'll ever get her full-time. I think we'll get her probably half a season, couple parts, maybe a couple episodes in a season, and then take a break and then come back to the second part of it, too. So, I don't know. It's just interesting to see what's the future hold. I think we're going to get season 10, 11, 12 at the most. I think that's what we got. But we'll see what ends up. Is Maggie the biggest character? Not really. Also, her story with Negan is already finished. The comic story of Negan and Maggie is done. Whatever happens going forward is just for the show, because the last time we saw Maggie and Negan is the last time we saw Negan in the comics, basically. If you read the comics, the last time we saw Negan was issue 174. We're on issue 190. We haven't seen him since then. And they jumped around a little bit for the show, which is okay, but it's just kind of interesting to see what are they going to do with those characters, too. So, I don't know who I think is going to die next season. I think Ezekiel for sure. I wonder who gets the Father Gabriel comic death in the show, because I don't think Father Gabriel is going to be that type of character. If it's anybody, who do you think would be that person in the water tower and gets that pretty awesome death? I mean, it's got to happen on the show because it's pretty awesome. And I don't want to give too much away, but it's definitely a big death. It's pretty epic. Everybody remembers the Father Gabriel death if you read the comics. I mean, that's all I got to say. And you're like, yep, I know exactly what you're talking about. Father Gabriel death? Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Just like the Pikes. If you know the Pikes from the comics, you know Ezekiel and Rosita are in it, in the comic, but it didn't happen for the show, which is okay. Little remixes for sure. What do you think? Q&A, Brad, do you think Maggie will be leader of the Commonwealth in the show after what happened in issue 190 in the comics? I don't know. That would be kind of a nice twist, craziness. I have a picture from, I forget who actually made it on Instagram, and she's there with the two Commonwealth soldiers, the stormtroopers, basically. And it's pretty cool if she's going to be the governor, the female governor. She kind of had an evil, villainous kind of tone to her, but I don't see her ever being a true villain. I want to see her interactions with Negan and how it goes down with how's that going to go too. And if Negan continues on his ways and saves people and helps people and saves people and does this, I think it's got to be one of those things that is like, whoa, Maggie, step back a little bit. You weren't even here for all this. And Negan's actually helpful now. So, last time you were here, he wasn't. But, you haven't seen him in a while. Big Sexy Q&A. Wasn't the comic book originally about coming from outer space? I guess yes and no. Yes, because Robert Kirkman said that to get it published. He was like, yeah, there's going to be these zombies and this, and then eventually it's going to be aliens. It's going to be aliens coming to the world, and that's going to be what caused it. And after about 2 or 3 issues, the director, manager, people were like, hey, so when do these aliens come in? And Robert's like, that's not actually true. I lied. Sorry. It's basically about a dad trying to find his family, to find his son and wife. And then the guy was like, all right, don't ever lie to me again. But I can get down with that. And basically he said that Robert Kirkman just had to tell him it was about a guy trying to find his son. And they would have published that too. So if anybody wants to publish a comic, you can have my story fight for us. It's about a guy trying to survive with his family and friends. Pretty awesome. Kind of the same lines of an awesome zombie apocalypse story. So if you want to, hit me up. For sure. We'll get it done. Hopefully we'll sell millions. But Chaz or Wilco Q&A, who would be sadder death, Negan or Gabriel? Well, that's interesting because I don't know if either character would be that sad. Depends on how the death would be. If the character died of Negan or Gabriel, I'd be fine with either of them dying, actually. I wouldn't be like, oh man, Negan's gone. I don't think I'll ever say that. I'm like, Negan's gone. Father Gabriel's gone. Father G, yeah, it's all right. But, you know, now it depends on how the death is done. So, what you got for me on there? Again, thank you guys for joining me this Sunday. I'll probably be talking about Game of Thrones for the next live streams, especially, you know, big stuff for the next 6 weeks after today, because Game of Thrones comes back on Sunday. And, you know, we want to talk about stuff that's there. And I'm on season 6, episode 4, I believe. I'm rewatching the season, and I've already seen all the episodes. And it's definitely a good idea to rewatch it, because there's some things that you've missed, some things that I've missed, some things that you go like, oh, foreshadowing, what's going to happen with possibly Ed, who runs the Night Watch, and, you know, Jon Snow, you know, something going to happen there with after the war or during the war or something, you know, something big could happen to Jon that would force something big to happen. So we'll see. Van Dyke's Games Q&A. What are your death predictions for issue 191? I don't know if they're going to... They kind of build it up big time on the covers and big things happening there too. I don't know if anybody big actually dies in the fight at the Commonwealth. I don't want to give too much away, but I don't really want to predict anything because I kind of like letting it go, letting the story unfold for it. But I don't know. We've lost a big character a couple issues ago, so I don't know if more stuff's going to happen. I mean, I personally think that the Commonwealth's going to fall. You know, that's kind of what happens. When Rick shows up places, stuff falls. Look at Terminus. Look at Woodbury. Look at the prison. Well, the prison lasted a while. Look at Alexandria had a problem. Look at, you know, all these problems are coming across when Rick shows up, you know? Janet Brown Q&A. Does anyone else want Negan to make a smart remark to Carol and she totally puts him in his place? You know, if you think about it, if you watch Talking Dead, Carol has not met Negan. And if you think about it too, Carol has not met a lot of people. She met the wolves. Did Carol meet the governor? I don't think so. Did she meet the wolves? Yes, she took him out. Did she meet some of the saviors? Yeah, but she didn't meet Negan. That's for sure. And she didn't meet one of the biggest villains there. She met Alpha kind of, but not really. She was just in the group that was there. Alpha's been talking with with Daryl, and I wonder what's going to happen with Carol and Negan. And there's all this stuff going around and on Instagram, and people just post stuff, and they present it as true stuff that happens, but it's not always true, you know? So we'll see if Carol actually gets a chance to interact with Negan. So I'm excited to see what happens, because Carol and Daryl and Michonne for, you know, so many episodes is going to be a big part of season 10. And going forward, Carol and Daryl are going to be a big part of the series. So it's going to be one of those things that it's going to be a big, important part for the series going forward, and hopefully you like those characters too. So filming season looks to be starting in 1 month, guys. Well, 1 month from yesterday. There was a report that it was May 16th, and now it looks to be May 6th, that Monday, which makes more sense that they would start on a Monday. So we're 1 month away from filming. They're starting to prep Alexandria, prep the windmill, prep their up. Give us a follow on Instagram. You'll see some pictures and some updated stuff there. On Facebook, we have a TWD community Facebook page and a group. So 2 things to follow there. And also on Facebook, you have a PT channel page that I post up there all the time. So it would be pretty cool if you follow us there. We will be up to date and up to know for everything, for sure. Kang Aradaro Q&A Angela said that Michonne will be a big storyline in her last season. She will get the comic angle when Rick is attacked and later having a speech. So, will she? Will she get the comic angle when Rick is attacked and later having a speech? So, I don't know what Michonne's story is going to be. I would think that she's going to get her story to go find Rick. And it's a handful of episodes. So if it's a handful of episodes, that looks to me 5 episodes, I'm guessing. 6 episodes potentially. And remember last season, right? So last season about this time was like, Maggie doesn't have a contract yet. Is Maggie going to be staying around? And then over the summer, Andrew Lincoln's like, yeah, this is my last season. So you're like, oh, man, it's built us up. So this season, it's the last season for Denai Guerrera, Michonne. So you're like, oh, man, what's going to happen there? And then the Maggie talk again. I guess Maggie doesn't really have a contract for season 10 because she went away to play Whiskey Cavalier and this and that. And so I want to see if that contract talk is going to be there as well. There's been no news about that, but we'll have to see how it goes down. 4, 5, 6 episodes, full season. But I would assume Michonne is going to have kind of Michonne will probably have the story of Rick Grimes like season 9. She'll probably be in as many episodes as she needs to be, a big focal point of the season, and then eventually the radio or something's going to come about where she'll probably go after Rick. Because if she's going to connect with Rick, it's going to be in the movies. It's not going to be on the show anymore. So we'll see what happens for it, but Michonne's my favorite character, so it's gonna be a loss for me. But I'll continue watching. I'm not gonna be that person like Michonne's gone. I'm not watching, man. Just cancel the show, get it done. I'm over it. See ya. No, I'm ride till I die on The Walking Dead for sure. I'm not gonna have it. So, the Dirty Kenzo is a big follower. Let me get a shout out, brother. So the Dirty Kenzo, great name. So. Hectorito, who's your prediction to sit on the Iron Throne at the end? I personally would love to have the Iron Throne destroyed, and they take all the Valerian steel out of the throne, and they take the swords out, and they stretch them out, and they bend them out, and they do all that, and they actually fight the White Walkers out of it, or they melt it down and make swords or something for it. So I would actually love to see the Iron Throne taken down and turned into swords to fight the White Walkers, because the White Walkers and the Night King and all these things, they're going to have a big battle, several big battles. I think there's one big battle at least at Winterfell, and then they're going to be going towards King's Landing because they have to be there, and then King's Landing is going to be the big battle for the season finale, or the series finale, or the episode right before the series finale, the penultimate episode they call it. So we'll see. But I think that it should be awesome. The season is going to be the final season, and then we're going to get a prequel series, and we'll see. I hope they do eventually the battle, the war with young Robert Baratheon, young Ned Stark, and they fight and they have this, because that would be an awesome thing to see, because you see this and the Mountain fights this order and that, and you can see the backstory of all these characters, and we're familiar with a lot of these characters too. A prequel story that doesn't connect with any of these characters here is like, wah, wah. That's like, what do we want to see? It's kind of like the Star Wars prequels. Like, these are characters that we know, but do they connect? Yes, we had Obi-Wan and this and that, but that was a little better. Game of Thrones could be not making connection. I don't know if it's going to work. So, Q&A, Daenerys is wearing a red dress in the trailer. Will she die? Well, I don't think that's connected with the show. I think that was a thing there too. But I think Daenerys and or Jon, or they both die. I don't think there's going to be a lot of survivors in this final season. I don't think a lot of people are going to make it out. I don't know what's going to happen with Arya. I don't know what's going to happen with Daenerys. I hope Tyrion makes it, and I feel like Jaime dies, and Grey Worm, and Jorah, and Tormund. What if Tormund's living, and Tormund survives, and so does Brienne of Tarth. But I feel like all these people there's going to be so much loss in the big battle that some people are going to get back, and they're going to make it to King's Landing to get to Cersei to fight, that army plus King's Landing. And, I want to see if the prophecy is true. Who's actually going to kill Cersei, if it happens. So we'll see. But Christy Wells Reese, do you have any info on the new Walking Dead spinoff? Well, I've heard mixed things. I've heard that 2020 is going to be bananas. We're going to have movies and this show and that show, and it's going to be big and big and big and big and big for 2020. But I think that's when we're going to get a Rick Grimes movie, 2020. We're going to have the back half of season 10 of Walking Dead till in 2020. Fear the Walking Dead, if it gets greenlit for a season 6, 2020. If we're going to have another spinoff, 2020. But that would be pretty awesome. So if we get another spinoff, I heard the word is that it's going to be past cast members will be back. And I would assume it's going to be Abraham, Eugene, Rosita, the whole Texas connection, maybe coming across Althea. Althea actually records them. That would be pretty awesome. Maybe they come across Daniel Salazar there, when the timeline is kind of jumbled a little bit. And, I have a video coming out tomorrow about the timeline of Fear and how it connects in there too. But the timelines can get crazy. It can get real crazy for sure. Michael Quest, Q&A. Do you read the Game of Thrones books? If so, do you think Jon Snow is going to be forced to forge Lightringer to kill the Night King? I do not read Game of Thrones books. I have not. I thought about buying them and reading them for sure. But I don't really have the time to read them. I write my own books. I do YouTube. I'm doing this. I'm doing stuff around the house. It's getting warmer out. I got to take care of the pool in the backyard and all this stuff. And, my wedding anniversary is coming up. And it's just all this stuff's going down. But I don't really have any time to read Game of Thrones books. I'm actually finishing up the super rough draft of book 10. And then I'm going to write my prequel book. I don't want to give away this story, but I'm definitely wanting to have that too. So definitely want to check out my books. It's Fight for Us. It's actually the thing I made right there out of wood and the sticker. But it's pretty awesome that the zombie apocalypse is living on. So if a lot of people are like, what am I going to do over the summer now? You can read my books, Fight for Us. You can watch Fear the Walking Dead. You can watch a show called Animal Kingdom, which I recommend. You can watch, what else is coming out? Game of Thrones is coming out next week. Then Stranger Things comes out in July. You can watch Netflix. I just watched the first episode of Umbrella Academy, which I like. Got to get back to that. There's a bunch of things coming out there. I actually just watched yesterday Aquaman on DVD. And it was a little too much over the top, a different kind of DC movie, but Jason Momoa was really good, and it was okay. It was all right, but Jason Momoa really carries that books for sure. Julia Muse, I promise to read your books this summer. I love the premise. Thank you. I appreciate it. Definitely check it out. You can get them on Kindle. If you're a Kindle person, that's definitely the more affordable way. You have them on digital versions, Kindle. I'm more of a paperback guy. If I read stuff, I got to read the paper. I don't know. It's just something about it, just actually turning the pages. But Kindle is good too. But I know the first book on Kindle was like 99 cents. I tried to make it super affordable for everybody to check out the series. And that's kind of what it's all about too. So Ethan Ingersoll, watch the new Twilight Zone in all caps. I don't have CBS All Access, but I would definitely watch Twilight Zone. I didn't grow up with Twilight Zone, but I definitely watched the reruns of it too. And I know that Jason and Stephen Yeun, who played Glenn on The Walking Dead, is in an episode of the Twilight Zone. But yeah, Julia Muse, the Kindle version is 99 cents for the first book, and then they go like $1.99, $2.99, $3.99. $3.99 is the most for the Kindle, and then paperback version, they're $10.99 across the board for sure. So Ethan loves those capitals. The first episode is on YouTube. Check it out. Has anybody watched Cobra Kai on YouTube? I have not, but I grew up with the movies, Karate Kid, and I wonder if that was pretty good. It looks pretty good. But season 9's done, guys. It sucks because season 9 of The Walking Dead is over. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good season, and I did a recap of it. I kind of tried to highlight as much things as I could, and I think I misspoke at one point. A lot of people love to point out things when I misspeak, but I think I said Carol and Michonne, but it's Carol and Ezekiel, obviously. Is what people are saying, but I don't know what I said. It's like a 15-minute long video, and I don't remember the 10-second, 15-second thing I watched, but what I said. But season 9 starts one way and ends a different way. Even the first half of season 9 is a lot to take in. It's kind of crazy. It's like, man, it's all over the place, but it's good. It was kind of good all over the place. A lot of stuff happened. Sometimes if it's all over the place, it's not, for sure. The Fence. Will you watch the Joker movie? I still have to watch the trailer. I don't mind the Joker. I think the Joker is one of the most iconic villains ever. Everybody knows who the Joker is. If you know Batman, you know the Joker. If you know the Joker, you know Batman on there too. So I'll definitely have to check it out. I'll have to watch the trailer actually too. So this summer, I'm excited for Lion King, Dark Phoenix, Toy Story 4. I'm trying to think what else is coming out. I know some people are excited about Godzilla. Spider-Man, Far From Home comes out July 2. And Star Wars December, of course. But there's a lot more movies coming out. And then Endgame, guys. Endgame, got your tickets? Got to talk about that. What was I thinking? I haven't even talked about Avengers Endgame yet. Are you guys checking out Avengers Endgame that weekend? Are you buying tickets, or are they sold out? Are you buying tickets to sell the tickets? I mean, I bought the tickets for my wife and I for Saturday, 11:30 showing. And we're not selling them. We're watching it. And that Saturday, it comes out, Thursday night, Friday, and we're watching it Saturday. And I'm excited for it. It's 3 hours and 58 seconds, I think, is the final runtime of it. 3-hour movie. And I was thinking about it. What was the last movie you saw that was 3 hours long? And I had to look it up what some of the movies were. And really the only movie that I ever watched in the movie theater that was 3 hours was Titanic. And I remember seeing Titanic twice in the movie theater. I saw it with a group of friends, and then I saw it with another group of friends, and it was like a big deal. But it was 3 hours long. And I should be okay. I usually don't have to go to the bathroom during 3 hours, but my wife is like, I don't know if I'm going to make it. I don't know. But I think it should be all right. But it's kind of funny. So I'm excited for this year of entertainment, guys. Looking at it in December of last year, it was like, man, we got Walking Dead second half, which was good. We had Captain Marvel, which was pretty good. Then we got Game of Thrones. Then we got Avengers. Then we got Toy Story, Lion King, Far From Home over the summer. Plus Stranger Things starts in July. I mean, if you want to watch Hellboy, you can watch, that. And then you got October, Walking Dead, Season 10. I didn't mention Fear the Walking Dead, by the way, over the summer. Season 10 of The Walking Dead. And then you got Star Wars Episode 9. You're like, man, that's just crazy. All that good stuff, right? But I remember it just being like, man, some years there's like, what am I going to watch? There's like nothing. And I feel like we're getting more and more stuff. Cool stuff on there too. It Chapter 2, there you go. So much stuff. It's going to be awesome for the rest of the year for it. A lot of good entertainment. I want to know what's going to happen. Dorian, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. I guess that was a long movie too. I can't remember. I saw all the Lord of the Rings movies, and they were all pretty long. I don't know if they were 3 hours, but I went too. So, Hectorito, will you wear an adult diaper when watching Endgame? I think I'll be okay, but I joke with my wife, like, yeah, she's got to wear a diaper for it, but I'll be all right. That'd be gross, by the way. I wouldn't recommend that, but no, that's funny. But. Yeah, a lot of good stuff. Walking Dead Season 9. And hopefully a lot of people came back and watched it, or a lot of people didn't leave on there too. I just, it's just laugh at people that are like, I'm never watching the show again. And they're like, see, it was pretty good after Rick left, Janet, Q&A, Brian, are you going to watch the new Zombie Apocalypse show coming to Netflix next month? Yes, I'll watch it. I'll check it out. I still have to watch The Dirt and Umbrella Academy and, a couple of things on there too. But I'll watch that show. I don't like the idea. It's definitely their marketing. They're like, it's better than The Walking Dead. It's better than The Walking Dead. Well, I doubt it is. What I get a vibe from it is like it's a better Fear the Walking Dead. There's like the military comes into play and this, and there's this woman trying to find her kid, and there's that. It's kind of got, and it looks kind of like an LA vibe, kind of where they shot it. I don't know where it takes place, but it's more like, hopefully it's a better Fear the Walking Dead. I don't think it's going to be a Walking Dead show better than The Walking Dead, but that's the marketing behind it and trying to draw people to see it. So, it just makes sense for sure. So, but thank you guys for taking the time. As always, want to put that out there. Go for about another 30 minutes or so. Super chat, live chat, all that stuff's welcome. I'm really for the chats here. The donations are always welcome to keep us going for as well. But I kind of see like zombie apocalypse shows a little differently now too, because I'm a writer and I'm like, I'm kind of liking, I would do it this way. And I just think my book series would translate so well to television because that's how I write it. I write it in a way that I see it. And I'm just like, they would talk this dialogue, they would go back and forth and they would talk. And I'm like, man, I'm like, come on. I'm excited for how it to happen. Going forward for the zombie apocalypse genre, it kind of sucks that, what's the movie with Brad Pitt? World War Z 2 got shut down. It got canceled or put down. Oh, Zombieland 2. Oh, man, that comes out in October as well. Man, another thing added to the list of awesome stuff to watch this year. Zombieland 2, man. Definitely gotta check it out. And then there's like another comedic one. Bill Murray's in it or something. I don't know if it's on Netflix or what it is. They're like the best cast disassembled or something. I don't really know. So, yeah, Hectorito. Book 9 is very emotional, and it was designed to be that way for sure. Book 9 of my series. It's titled Settlement, and it's definitely one of my favorite, I think my best written book, and my favorite book to date for sure is Book 9. That's the latest book. Book 10 will be titled Ghosts, and that'll be out in October. Kang, Era, Daryl, Q&A, Brian, Angela said that we will see new locations in Season 10 as well. What if they go on a scavenging mission for bullets on an abandoned ship near Oceanside? I think that Eugene's just going to make bullets again. They don't need to scavenge for bullets. But new locations, like what does that mean? That could be anything. They could be, they went to a supermarket, or they went to a farm, or they went to somewhere else. Like it can be vague with it too. I don't think it's going to be some revolutionary thing, but we'll see what Angela Kang wants to do. Janet, hey Brian, any more snakes in your yard? You might not want to wear flip-flops. Yeah, no, I've been going out there to where they were. Like that was literally my driveway when I made that video. And when I go around the house, I have my my trash bin is on the side of the house, And if you know the book series, the house that's kind of seen over there with the oak tree, that's Bobby G's house. That's what it is. But my house is there, and I go around the bin, and I'm always looking for them now because I don't want my wife to come home or whatever. And the snake, like I said, the snakes have been around. I thought it was just one snake, but they've been around, and they come around, and you look at them, and it slithers away. It's not attacking anything. It's scared of people on there too. And I'm not going to try to kill it or anything unless it comes after me or my wife or something there too. And literally, I thought I saw it in the backyard the other day or yesterday. And I was like, man, if they're trying to creep around here, I don't know if we got 2 or 3 now around. I got to have my machete ready, get it ready. And so I had to go in the garage, get the machete, and then it was gone. So I don't know where it was, just in case. I'm not going to go trying to take it out, but if it's getting too close or messing with stuff too. I don't have a dog or anything I would run in the backyard, but I would worry about, or any young children. If they were, the snake would be gone for sure. But right now, it's not there too. So. Can we get another The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, please? Treehouse Party 83. You really like that movie? The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen? It was okay, but you really like that? But snakes. I don't know no snakes. If you know what that quote is from, you definitely know a good holiday movie. Like snakes. I don't know no snakes. But yeah, the sneaker addict. Glad you brought back. You don't know if I'm winking or blinking. Me and my wife love that. Well, I'm definitely gonna have it. It's not gonna be in every video, but I'm gonna have it for sure. Hope you guys like the new intro. I have an idea for another intro, but it's something that I try to want to make. But I got to take the time to have it and get the sound effects and stuff for it too. But I like kind of the music vibe with it, and then the other intro wouldn't have it. But we'll see. Maybe I'll make one down the road too and play with it a little bit too. So. Mark Simmons, were you playing Barry White for the Snakes? Yeah. That's funny. Like, anybody know The Simpsons? They play that Barry White song. Like, the song, Can't Get Enough of You, Babe. And it's Snake, like Whacking Day with the snakes and The Simpsons. That's pretty funny. Barry White. So, I'm going to be doing, where's the Game of Thrones question? I saw it. So, yes, very good, Ethan. You got it. Boyd, you got it too, man. You guys are good. Sure. John Rod, Game of Thrones stream. That'll be, well, I'm not going to be streaming the episode. That's just ridiculous. But I'll be streaming, talking about it for sure. Next weekend, it'll be a Game of Thrones stream. It'll be all about Game of Thrones, Season 8, Episode 1. And we're only going to get 6 episodes of this season, this final season of Game of Thrones, which sucks because it's only 6 episodes. You know, it'll be over right before Memorial Day in May, which, you know, it's a lot of stuff's going to happen. I know the run times are going to be, I think it's like 54 minutes and then 60 minutes, 60 minutes. And then I think there's the last 2 are 80 minutes long. So there'll be hour and 20 minutes. And that's total runtime. It's not, you know, there's going to be like the ad comes in and stuff too. Like if you watch the episodes now, they say previously on Game of Thrones or whatever, and they talk about it and they show you this and that, and then they go through the opening, which is a minute and 40 seconds or whatever. Next thing you know, it's like 4 minutes into the episode, hasn't even started yet. But, you know, we'll see how long it takes. And I'm excited for the episodes to start coming in. And last season it got leaked out and people like got the episodes or this and that. So I think they took precautions. They took, you know, it's crazy to think that it's been 2 years since the last episode. You know, we didn't get anything last year of Game of Thrones. And the year before that was in the summer. So it's coming around 2 years of Game of Thrones. And I remember watching Sopranos. They kind of did a similar thing where they cut the last season in half and it was there and then we had to wait a while for it. But, you know, here we're coming up soon, guys. It'll be here before you know it, and it's crazy. But, yeah, so 60, 60, 82, 80, 80, 80 on there, too. So, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I'm good. So we get a little, you know, a little bit longer here, a little bit longer now. That's what we should get. So we're going to get some good stuff for sure. I'm excited for it, you know. Yeah, 2 years gave me the time to read the books. That's cool. That's what you should do, too. And that's what I'm saying. Like, over the summer, waiting for The Walking Dead to return, you can check out our book series, my book series, Fight For Us, and get involved with that, too. Sure. Q&A, would you ever turn your book into a movie or TV show? Romel Brown. I would definitely do that. That's kind of the ultimate goal, is to have my story on the small screen or the big screen or the streaming screen or this screen. Yeah, it would definitely be involved with it, for sure. I already have a picture in my mind, you know, with, you know, the weapons and the thing. I actually would love for the series to be turned into a video game. The video game is something that I would think to do. I grew up playing Nintendo, Super Nintendo, PlayStation with Resident Evil 2 and this, and, you know, Last of Us recently stuff. It's just like, man, I think my series would translate very well into an open world, awesome zombie game in, you know, right around Tampa, Florida. You would have this part and that part, and then the beach, and then the city, and then, you know, it would be awesome. I think it would be awesome. Right? You know, if you played Spider-Man, the open world, you know, Grand Theft Auto, stuff like that. Kind of like Last of Us, but it's not so open world. More like Infamous, where you can go around, do what you want, this and that. Some things would be area to be tough or like that too. Or, yeah, I never played DayZ, but something like that. It would be a third-person shooter, not a first-person shooter, because I like the idea of being able to see around you and be like more like Infamous open world like that for sure. So that's the idea. That's the grand thing, but I don't know how to code a video game and digital art and sound and all that stuff too. I mean, I'll sell the rights to, you know, Sucker Punch, and if they want to make the video game, we can all make it work. You know, it'd be awesome too. So, but yeah, but if they bought your book series and turned it into a movie, could you take other writers changing your work? The idea would be that I would be able to work in there and be a writer on the show as well. I would be part of it. I wouldn't want to have, you know, give up complete control to it, because it's kind of my right and my life and my story and this and that and everything there too. Maybe it would be able to be written better for television, because I don't know how to write for television and scripts. I'd be open for that, but I would have a premise and you can work on there too. I'm open to it. I'm not a, you know, person that's like, it's got to be my way exactly, but, you know, it could be there. Kang Aaron Darrell, Q&A, shouldn't Aaron lead the council? Gabriel already had the Jadis, Radio, and Rosita storylines. I don't know. Aaron maybe doesn't want that role. Maybe Aaron doesn't want the leadership role. They gave it to Father Gabriel for a reason, because it could have been anybody, like you said. It could have been Michonne. It could have been Father Gabriel. It could have been Aaron. It could have been this. It could have been that. It could have been a lot of people. And so it's definitely one of those things where you're like, yeah, they did it for a reason. So Father Gabriel's probably going to be around for a long time. And I know they like Seth Gilliam on the show, and his prior work on HBO and everything there too. So it's interesting. The only thing I know about Game of Thrones is the Red Wedding, Ethan. So I guess you only know the Red Wedding probably because people were talking about it being the fair and the Red Fair, and it's not even close. The Red Wedding is far worse than the fare on The Walking Dead, in my opinion. So if you like The Walking Dead and you like Game of Thrones, what do you feel is a better show? And don't say I like them both and I love them both. You have to pick one over the other. It's a fun question. There's no right or wrong answer. To me, what's actually done better is obviously the HBO show, Game of Thrones. There's a lot of better things that they do, and they have some wins and some losses and some wins and some losses. And the AMC show predicament there, it's kind of like hurting the show a little bit more. And also, The Walking Dead is going to be on 10 seasons. Game of Thrones is only 8 seasons. So you have to do a little this, a little that. And I still think the best season of The Walking Dead is season 6. I don't think they're ever going to top that. So, right, Preston. And Game of Thrones, I don't know if Game of Thrones is 10 times better, but I'd say it's better. But I love both, just like me too. I love both series. And Game of Thrones is a lot to watch. It's a lot to handle, the way they pronounce names and these lands and this group and this castle and this community and this people and King's Landing and the North and the South and the White Walkers and the Giants and the this and the Night's Watch and the Starks and this. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. What's up, Mega Dr. Dre? It's a lot to take in, especially early on. I didn't read the books, so I wasn't familiar with King's Landing and the Lannisters and the Starks and this and that. And, I don't want to give too much away because not everybody watches it, but I do recommend it. Hang in there, watch it, because I gave up on the show. I gave up watching it after about 2, maybe 3 episodes of season 2, and I'm like, what? More people? I have to learn more people? It's already bad enough that I had to learn all these people, and the Baratheons, and the Lannisters, and the Starks, and this, and the Targaryens, and you're like, oh my, and the Dothraki, and you're like, this is ridiculous. How am I going to remember? People are speaking different dialects and different things, and on The Walking Dead, it's like, here's the Grimes, here's Shane, here's Glenn, here's this, and it wasn't so much to deal with. They were at a quarry, and then downtown, back to the quarry, the farm, all of the farm basically, and then the prison. It wasn't that much to take into. It was just a lot for sure. Man, CGC Central, not even hyped for Game of Thrones. Season 7 was a disaster. I thought it was very good, but Janet Person Q&A, Brian, do you think Carol and Ezekiel will get back together? Do you think Ezekiel will be killed first part of season 10? Thoughts? I think Carol and Ezekiel won't be together at first, and then they'll work on their romance a little bit. And then they'll start trying to make it work. And then Ezekiel's killed. And then Carol's like, oh man, I got to take this alpha lady out. Ezekiel's killed. I just feel like Ezekiel's going to die within the first 3 episodes. And I feel like Ezekiel is going to try to do something against the Whispers and get killed. I don't know. That's just my feeling. And the writers can do whatever they want to do, and they can say whatever they want to say, but I just feel like that's just how I would write it, I guess. I don't know. And I guess it just becomes strewed, my viewpoint becomes construed because how I would write something, for sure. But Boyd, my daughter. Wrong answer. But Alpha was pretty cool. I thought Alpha was done very well. I thought Beta was pretty cool, even though he's like, the pack was good. They left it. It was a good time we left. Yeah, I'm Beta. I don't open my mouth very big when I talk. Yeah. But the one thing that was kind of confusing to some people and was kind of interesting, you had to watch Talking Dead and see an interview there. It was like, it was snow, and the snow, and the snow, and the more snow, and the blizzard, and the snow, and then it was like really coming down, and then it wasn't coming down, and then it was this. And then all of a sudden, the birds are chirping, and the grass is green, and the field is this, and the woods are there, and you're like, okay, this wooded thing is like, where are these whispers? Is this a flashback? Is this somewhere that they forgot to put snow down? And then they're like, no, they were like animals and they migrated south. And then people are like, if you listen to Beta, you heard it. Yeah, because they really talked about them going south and avoiding the blizzard. Good thinking, Alpha. But it makes sense after the fact. But you had to hear that they went south for the winter to avoid the snow. So they go to South Carolina or North Carolina or Georgia or, basically Florida, But did they go to Georgia, Atlanta, That'd be kind of cool, you know? I'd be like, all right, they're back. But hopefully season 10, there was talks of a season 10 having a Beta backstory episode. That'd be kind of cool, right? I wouldn't mind seeing that. I wouldn't mind seeing Beta, his backstory, where he was. Was he, was he the basketball player like in the comics? Was he a wrestler? Was he something? That would be kind of cool, for sure. Have you noticed more and more walkers are walking towards Alexandria in the intro? Well, yeah, it was the one walker, and then it was the other walker, and then it was the whisper. So it was definitely a whisper and a walker and another walker going towards Alexandria. But if you know the comics, you know that we're going to get a big moment for Hilltop and Alexandria with walkers and whispers, for sure. If Beta is an NBA player, I'll stop watching. Well, that's what it is in the comic there, Dirty Kenzo. I'm not saying they're going to do it exactly, but I would personally love him to mix it up a little bit. If he was like a truck driver or that would be kind of cool if he was a pro wrestler. That'd be kind of cool. I think that would be kind of interesting too, as he's a big guy and, tie in some wrestlers too. But I think Ryan Hurst was a good cast because he was on Sons of Anarchy. People like Sons of Anarchy. It brings him back here. It's a nice casting. Ryan Hurst does a good job. He's not the biggest guy, but casting a small alpha is what you had to do to build up there. And he's got boots that are making him a little bit taller. So, because Ryan Hurst is only 6'4". Tobin was actually taller than him, I believe, or the same height. And he's a little bit taller than Negan. He's supposed to dwarf Negan. So I wonder if we're going to see that. Negan, Beta, Alpha, the Whispers, that connection. Because the Judith dog angle is far different on the show than in the comics, and Negan saves Judith and dog. And so is that his redeeming factor? Is that his redeeming quality? Because when he goes to Alpha and he talks with Alpha and is with Alpha, that's kind of his redemption story. Here, the redemption story angle was with Judith and dog. So I wonder if that's actually going to be what it is. That we don't know. Because Beta, is she going to get what's coming to her in the comics from Negan, Carol, Daryl, Ezekiel, Jerry, Michonne? I mean, Lydia, I think it's going to happen just in a little different way. A little remixes for what it is, too. So, Defense, thank you. Love your channel. It's going to be a long hiatus. It'll definitely be a long break. I was looking at it here on my computer. I think it comes back in October, like it always does. So we got the 6th, the 13th, the 20th, or the 27th. I wouldn't think it's the 6th. I would think it's more the 13th or the 20th, or maybe the 27th, but the 13th or the 20th, I would think when The Walking Dead will be back. One of those, 13th or 20th. So today is April 7th. So we're about 6 months away, guys. And it's 6 months, and you're like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do for 6 months? It'll be over before you know it. It'll be here before you know it. If you watch Game of Thrones, that starts next Sunday. And then we got 6 weeks of episodes. So that'll take us into May. And then if you watch the documentary on that Sunday of the Game of Thrones, that'll be another one. Then we're into June. And then June 2nd, we have Fear the Walking Dead from June 2nd to probably 8 weeks, which would be July or August, and then a break from there, and then August to October for Fear the Walking Dead. So we'll have some content for you. Hopefully Fear the Walking Dead is worth watching, and in the past seasons, it really hasn't been that great of a thing, but hopefully with Morgan, with the Whitey Boy, with Daniel Salazar, with this, with that, with the new characters, new kids, Charlie, Alicia, it should be pretty good. The trailer looks good. I like John. Morgan's all right. Alicia's cool. I like the Whitey Boy's angle. We'll see what's something there too. And they're trying to spin it as like something is going to happen that will connect The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead from the time jump, the 18th month time jump. Is that just the white though? I mean, isn't that the connecting? They're trying to spin it like it's connected with the helicopter people and Rick and that. But did they really fly to Texas? Is that kind of what it is? And so I just don't know if it's going to be. I don't know what they're trying to pull. Is Sherry coming back around? Where's Heath at? What's going to happen there? Hopefully we'll get more news and stuff. We'll be sharing it with you all year long. We talk about The Walking Dead all year long, but we're going to be talking about The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, Avengers, Infinity War. Doing other stuff for sure. I think it's going to be, a good summer, and we'll be definitely having a lot of videos for you guys. It won't be nearly as much like it was during The Walking Dead in season, but once Fear the Walking Dead's here, we'll be able to talk a little bit about that, and hopefully people watch that on there too. So, what you got for me? Questions. Julie Muse. I think the radio may be connected. So the radio could be connected with Fear. It could be connected with Commonwealth, Maggie, Georgie, Jadis. But I have a whole thing about the timeline that I just don't think it's Fear because of the timeline. It just doesn't make sense. And I have that video already made. I made it actually yesterday. I was going to post it today, but I had the stuff about Maggie and Whiskey Cavalier. So I posted that instead. Tomorrow I'll post a video about the timeline of Fear the Walking Dead that really doesn't add up with it being a connecting point with The Walking Dead, at least right now. Maybe that's how it ends for the season and it connects with, someone over the radio, but we'll see. So, Finessence 808, Westworld comeback 2020. I don't know. That's a good question. Are you telling me 2020? Because I think so. I know Better Call Saul season 5 is in 2020 as well. And then we're going to have the Breaking Bad movie, which would be pretty cool. Better Call Saul, I recommend. That's a good show, especially if you're a Breaking Bad fan, and the way it connects for sure. Tommy Griffin Jr., what's up? What do you think the Night King will be taken out eventually in the final season? Do you think the Night King will be taken out eventually in the final season? For sure. I think it has to do with Bran. I think Bran's going to use his special powers to go back in time or whatever on there too, and just do something there to rewrite the past. I just think that's what's going to happen. It just makes too much sense. Because when I just watched the episode in season 6, when Bran goes in the past and he actually says something and it alters things. So that was definitely shown for a reason. That's definitely my viewpoint on that too. But I think Bran is connected with the Night King, and that's definitely a big thing. Mark, Bry, how are the two communities take in and provide for all? Well, Hilltop makes a lot of food. The Kingdom can hopefully do something. I don't know. Hopefully they have people that can, earn their keep and hopefully expand Hilltop. I mean, the best thing for them would be to make it bigger and expand there. But yeah, you're right. They brought a lot of people in. Hilltop already had a lot of people, even though they lost a lot of people. But the Kingdom brought a lot of people in too, with Ezekiel, with Jerry, with, all those kids and children and, Nabila and all. They brought a lot of people with them. So I don't know. Hopefully it's explained, right? Bennett Arnold, who do you think is immune in the disease? I don't think immunity is just something they're going to talk about in The Walking Dead. Robert Kirkman has said several times that's not an angle that they want to talk about, the cure. And I think that's not what it's all about. So no cure. Thank you, Tommy Griffin Jr. Loving the channel. Appreciate it. Boyd, I agree with you. Season 5 of Fear the Walking Dead trailer looks pretty good. But the showrunners were there last year, Boyd. So if you liked last season, then we'll see how it goes. But I think they can finally get away from the first 3 seasons and start their own story fresh now in season 5. Because season 4 had to wrap up the first 3 seasons connecting with the first half, and the second half was there too. So I think season 5 can be their own thing. So we'll see. Maybe it sucks. Maybe those showrunners suck. But I hope not. I hope The Walking Dead is kind of its own show, and Fear the Walking Dead is its own show, but will they ever come together? I don't know. I kind of like the differences to keep things going together, but if they were smart, they would just kind of have that universe going around all the time. I mean, they should have just had Fear the Walking Dead being a continuation of the Walking Dead story. It should have just, so you could have the Walking Dead story and universe all the time. They set up the first 3 seasons to be, we're not having anything connected with it. We don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole. So you don't want to have a great show, have a spinoff that's connected with that universe to have there too. So the showrunner was like, oh yeah, I come from Sons of Anarchy and we're going to do something totally different here. Well, that's always great. Reinvent the wheel of something. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And you tried to reinvent something, and it didn't work out on Fear. So I don't know. We'll see. They kind of cut the loose ends out of Fear the Walking Dead, so it should be fresh. But The Walking Dead's over, and it sucks. And today is the first Sunday of many, many Sundays that The Walking Dead will not be back. We have to wait 6 months, and it'll be back. It'll be back, guys. Let's be thankful and hopeful and appreciate the fact that we're getting a 10th season of The Walking Dead. Back in the day, so many years ago, 10 years ago, I guess, that it wouldn't be even happening. The Walking Dead was not a show in 2009. It came out in 2010. So imagine that. 10 years, not 9 years ago at this point, 10 years ago for sure, The Walking Dead did not exist. So, yeah, I do not like Madison, that's for sure. Madison was probably the worst lead character ever. Fear the Walking Dead has had the worst non-villainous group, no really antagonist. And then they bring in, the vultures or whatever they were calling it. It was just like, come on. But either way, Game of Thrones, next Sunday, we'll be talking about it for sure. I got a bunch of things for in the hopper, man. It's in the hopper, in the queue. Mark Simmons Q&A. Can we have more candid videos of yourself? I'll probably be doing more videos of it for sure. I'll be talking about a little more comedy stuff, a little more of this, a little more stuff. Like I went to Publix yesterday, right, with my wife, and we bought blueberries. They were 3 for $10, which was a little expensive, but 3 for $10. And the register lady was like, boop, boop, scanning stuff. And the one wasn't scanning right. And then she scanned it and the plastic opened and blueberries went all over the place. And she was trying to play it off, just put them back in there. And I was like, yeah, I'm not keeping that one. I'll go get another one. So I had to walk all the way down the produce, find another blueberry package, and come all the way back. And I was like, what the heck? So it was kind of funny. But I was like, what the heck? There's all these different stories at Publix, and I got a bunch of things, and I try to write them down for some stuff. And yep, my man Mark on Facebook, Hector on Instagram, and Boyd on YouTube and everything. I appreciate it, guys. Excuse me. I appreciate you guys taking the time and being a valued member and part of the channel. Hopefully you got friends or families that'll like being a part of it too. And I really appreciate it. It truly means the world to me on there as well. So hopefully you guys will be continuing being part of it. Finesse, do you think we'll get 12 seasons? I think we get 12 seasons. I think 12 seasons will be good. We're getting 10, season 10. And then we'll definitely get at least, I think we get 10, 11, 12. I think that's a good run. I think that's all we get of The Walking Dead, the final season. And then we'll probably have, the movies to connect, and then we'll take a break and hopefully they come back. That'd be pretty awesome too. So no more snakes, please. That was scary. Sorry, I didn't put them there. They were just on my driveway for it. So my favorite season. What is your favorite and least favorite episode of season 9? Great question. My least favorite episode. I don't know. That's a good question. I have to watch them again for it. I liked my favorite episode might be episode 906. Just because it's Rick's story and then young Judith and Magna's group and this and then the flashbacks and all that stuff. Initially it was like, man, they lied to us. But then, watching it, it's pretty cool. I don't know. I liked that. But I don't know. So many big moments. I like more big moments than anything for sure. So did you see Jerry in Shazam? I have not seen Shazam, but I know that Jerry is in it. Cooper Andrews said it a couple times in a couple of the panels I was at. And Shazam was there too. So my Twitter name, Christy, is at the PT channel. So we have an Instagram at the PT channel. We got Twitter at the PT channel. We got a Facebook group, the PT channel. We got a bunch of different things on there too. So it was definitely one of those things. So yeah, sorry, Julie. Yeah, 9.5 was Rick's last episode. So that's what I mean. 9.5 into 9.6. So they were kind of cool because I liked young Judith with Magnus group, kind of continuing that story. So I guess it was 9.5, right? Yeah, I was just having a thing on there too. So they start filming, guys, next month. We got May 6th, I believe. So in 1 month on there too. So thank you guys for joining me. Let me do the last one here. Finessence 808. Who do you think will sit on the throne if there is one? If there is one, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think it's going to be Daenerys. I don't think it's going to be Cersei. I don't think it's going to be Jon. I don't think it's going to be Tyrion. I don't know. I don't know if it's a Lannister or what, but I just don't know if they're going to actually end up with the throne being part of it. I just see them not being part of it on there too. I just see that the Iron Throne, I would love for the Iron Throne to get turned into swords for them to fight on there too. So, Janet person, once I bought a loaf of bread and the cashier stuck her nose on it, sniffed it and said, "That smells good." I brought it home and threw it in the trash. Oh my God, that's terrible. Exactly. Like, what do you do to that, right? You're like, okay, I don't want to touch this thing, but I bought it, and you're like, what the heck on there too? So exactly, you guys know what's up on there too. So Kang Aradero, favorite is 915, and least is 905. 915 is good. It's definitely up there as one of my favorites. It's hard to rank favorite episodes of the season for sure, But thank you guys for watching. I truly appreciate it. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's about love, support, staying positive, and making memories. Thank you guys for joining me this Sunday. We'll be back next Sunday to talk about some Game of Thrones. So hopefully you'll check out the season, the series, all that good stuff, read the books, and you'll be involved with our Game of Thrones chats and talks and all that stuff. We'll be having more Game of Thrones stuff. We'll have some Walking Dead videos for sure, Fear the Walking Dead and other topics, but we're going to transition to Game of Thrones a little bit for the upcoming season, final season of Game of Thrones. And thank you guys for watching. See ya. Have a good weekend.